got one more video and one more acronym going into the heart to find the root.
But you know, there's a great British psychiatrist, D.W. Winnicott, a child psychiatrist, who said that, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he said that two things can go wrong in childhood. One is when bad things happen that shouldn't happen. And that's the trauma, the abuse, the exploitation. But then he says, also when things don't happen that should happen. In other words, the child may not have been beaten, sexually abused, or overtly neglected. But what if he didn't get the emotional attunement, attention that he needed? What if he's a sensitive child whose emotions were never listened to? Now, people don't remember what didn't happen. People may recall what happened, but they won't recall what didn't happen. And those are the people that are really struggling at these. You know, and TJ is one of them. I mean, you know, he was not abused. He was not mistreated. Not that everything was perfect in his home, but it was mostly what didn't happen in TJ's home, I believe, that created the difficulties. And that's harder to deal with because it's not as overt, it's not as obvious.
So we're talking about going into the heart to find the root. And isn't that so powerful to think? Bad things do happen to us that shouldn't happen. But I think the bigger topic is things that didn't happen that should have happened. And we look at so many fatherless families nowadays. We look at neglect. We look at sexual abuse. All of these things play in. And there's so many people nowadays that say, I had a great childhood. Compared to what? That's always got to be the question. Because if there was any neglect, sure, our parents did the best they could. But they're not perfect. And as children, we have needs that often do not get met. And when we think about what he just said, I'm blanking on his name right now. But yeah, really a funny Italian name. So Gabor Mata is his name. What he's saying is that basically his porn or addiction is not actually the problem. What he's saying is addiction is the symptom. And what the problem is these pains and traumas and wounds that we have from things we wish we had or didn't have. So if somebody was sexually abused, they're going to wish that never happened, and that's going to affect their life. And if somebody had emotional abandonment, they actually don't have anything happen to them, so it's very hard to put their finger on it. And this is my story. I was emotionally abandoned as a child. My parents were always present, physically, but emotionally they were always gone. I could never share anything with them. They made fun of me if I liked a girl. All of these things, the emotions were just never possible to share or receive. And this is a great example of what he just said, is this the things that should have happened. I should have known about love. I should have known how to treat a woman. I should have known how to love God more than the world. And these are the things that make us seek when we feel pressure, when we feel like we need to perform. We then start seeking that comfort that Tony so well talked about. And the one practical step that really changed my life was something called journaling. And that might bring up weird things to guys. Usually we don't write things down, our emotions are hidden. But when we actually start feeling things, like let's say we get up in the morning and we're feeling stress. We don't want to go to work. We don't want to go to school. What are you really feeling? Stress is not actually an emotion or a feeling. It's actually a blanket. When we actually write down how we're feeling, oh, I'm scared because my coworker makes fun of me. I'm afraid because of this. I'm nervous because I have a meeting with my boss today. What are we actually afraid of? When we write that stuff down, we can actually look at it and pray truth over it. We can actually start learning how we're thinking. Because when we keep things in our mind and in our hearts, Satan will use it and destroy us. So when we start writing down what's actually going on inside of us, it comes out and gives us freedom. And then we can pray into it and actually allow Christ to take it and bind it and eliminate it from our life. And that's a huge part of my story. I would say 80% of my healing came from journaling. So that is an amazing part. And I'll let Helena share the acronym, and then we're just going to give you guys some resources from Secret Habit. Obviously, we're not going to be in Lebanon much longer, so we can't talk one-on-one, unfortunately, but we're so grateful to have a chance to shake hands and meet everybody today. But we'll give some resources before we go, just so we can stay in contact. So I'll let Helena finish off with the acronym of ROOT.
Thank you, Sean. I'll refer them to someone who can help them in these deeper issues. And what I mean by that is we're not professional licensed counselors. We're not counselors, and I think you yourself, when there are people that might come to you, you are going to differentiate the people that need actual professional help. That those people might have things deep in their hearts that I was so glad that I went to a counselor that helped me to define some of the things that were deep inside that needed to get healed. And when there are things like trauma and abuse at home, the people that trust you and they share this with you, the best thing to do is to refer them to professional help. Offer to be a listening ear when they need to talk. I would just point out the video that we just saw, and being empathetic to people that are around us. And that was open up a space for them to identify root issues. What do you think? What do you think? How can we open up a space for them to identify root issues? How would you do that? How would we do that as people?
Like you just did with your neighbors. You provide them safety. Safety place. I think so.
Yes.
Safety.
Yeah.
One thing that I would say is that we often see the youth today on their phones and on Facebook and social media, and what that actually means is that they're seeking love, they're seeking comfort. So if you see a kid on their phone a lot, it's actually amazing just to ask them, like, hey, like, how is things going at home? Like, how are you and your dad doing? And actually entering their life. If you see these trends in the life of a youth, they're maybe stressed out a lot, they have ADHD, they're stressed, frustrated, angry. These are actually just problems that are rooted from a home life that is not healthy. So these are some things that we would recommend, how to open up a conversation about the deeper problems. Like, hey man, like I've seen you just look a little sad the last week. Like, is there something going on at home you want to talk? Can we share? It's just really powerful to be that person to just enter into somewhere they don't know how to go to.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. T, talk to them about your own experiences. And I feel like you know yourself, that you know people, you have heard stories that can transform your life. Literally, you hear somebody's story and you just feel like, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And so I think just talk about our own experience and what we have gone through has been so fruitful. And Noni said some things, but I just want to say that Noni was, she understood. She wanted Christ. And she just wanted to know that she's not alone. She's free today. She's doing amazing. She's now going to be a stewardess. And yeah, just seeing that freedom is so amazing. And I wanted to share just the last bit with you, and that's, we're not here today to just, after this all ends, our heart is that you will see the need yourself, that you'll see the need and how much need there is, and that we need leaders to step out and to talk about this. We need leaders that we're gonna talk about the truth and that we're gonna sit with the kids and tell them, share with them, help them. And that you will go and you will do our research like Tawny did.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tawny. That this is your turn, that this is your turn now. So that's what we pray. We pray that for Lebanon, that there's going to be a revival in this.
Amen.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're just gonna go over a few resources that we have. Like we said, we're leaving, but we don't want to be gone in spirit. I actually wrote an ebook called The 3 Keys to Quit Porn that's available for free on our website. If you go on our website, secrethabit.ca, there will be a pop-up. You can enter your email and we'll send you a copy of that. It's like 25 pages, so it's a nice, simple read. We made it so it's something you can read in one sitting. We all download ebooks and never read them, so the plan was to have it be read. I'm guilty. We have a beta program in process. This is something that we can talk more about if someone wants to get in contact with us. It's called 30 Minutes to Freedom. It's a 6-week program that's 3 to 5 questions daily that gets into the root problem with weekly Zoom sessions. So it's very powerful. I've had some great success with that idea. I actually healed from a program very similar to that. On social media, we got Facebook, Instagram, probably some other ones, but those are the main 2, at Secret Habit Ministry. Facebook's the one we update the most with a lot of posts and updates on content and where we're at. Instagram, we post some stuff here and there. And then YouTube, I think we got like 30 videos up there. So if you guys need encouragement, if you need some teaching, if you need to give your youth some videos to watch, there's videos from how to bounce your eyes, to how to journal, to how to, keep confident when you're discouraged from people maybe laughing at you when you're trying to get free from porn. So there's many resources on there. And again, we can send these if anyone needs them more, but basically if you look Secret Habit up on Google, we're the business that comes up, so you'll see us. And then a couple other resources I want to let you know about is there's a great ministry called Pure Desire that's in Portland, Oregon, down in the USA. I've actually met their founder and I've gone to one of their conferences. Their founder was basically the second guy in the world to be a part of this sexual addiction phase and movement. So Ted Roberts is absolutely incredible. And what Pure Desire does is they create this platform where science meets faith. They have a podcast, they have videos, they have curriculums, they even have online counseling and therapy. So we want to make this available. If this is a culture where shame is so prevalent, could you guys imagine if your youth and all of you guys who you know either are struggling or have people that are struggling, just utilize the internet and can actually do this healing process, anonymous if you really feel like that's going to be helpful. You know how powerful that is to have somebody in the US be able to help you? So this is an amazing resource, puredesire.org. Their podcast is fantastic. And then another one that we are really passionate about is something called BraveHeartsRecoveryNetwork.com. Brave Hearts is a ministry by one of the pillars in this industry of sexual addiction named Michael Leahy. He was basically a part of this evangelical company called Crew, and he went from high school to university to colleges speaking about Christ. And he realized the need for help in pornography addiction. So he wrote a book called Porn University, Porn Nation, and then he started this ministry. And this actually is a network of counselors and coaches and mentors and therapists, people that are licensed online that are willing to counsel and help people via Skype and Zoom for very good rates. So this is a great resource for people that want professional help, that are people that are licensed. And again, it says online, there's a stat that says 80% of people would be willing to get help with their addiction if there was help available online. And our program is online. These guys are online. Pure Desire is online. 80%. Let's get that 80% started in Lebanon. So that is our time for our teaching. And we have a time for Q&A. I think maybe we're going to do a little bit of a break, but questions and answers. We'll probably just let Tony do his thing and answer them all, but we'll see. Maybe we can add some value. But we're super grateful to share some teaching, maybe a bit of a Canadian spirit, but we're passionate and excited, and we are just excited to see what you guys do with all of this teaching. And again, reach out. We'd love to be friends with all of you. We're just so excited to be here. So thank you for letting us share, and God bless.
Thank you.